Hello everybody. Today we are using the distributive property to simplify expressions. If you haven't already done it, make sure your name and the date are clearly written at the top of this paper. If not, pause the video and do it right now. I would love you to remember back to third grade when you first learned about the distributive property. And remember that order of operations tells us that we need to simplify what's in parentheses first. If I add 4 plus 3, I'm going to get 7. I still have to multiply that by the 5 on the outside. 5 times 7 is 35. Okay, it says show this in 2 ways. So there's another way I can do it. If I have 5 times 4 plus 3, I can also multiply the 5 by 4 and multiply the 5 times the 3. So 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 3 is 15. There is a plus sign between the two. And 20 plus 15 is 35. Did we get the same answer in both strategies? Yes, we did. Now, when we get to problems where there's an x or a variable in the parentheses, we can't add. So we have no other choice but to multiply the 5, or the number on the outside of parentheses, by everything on the inside of the parentheses. So let's do 5 times 4. We already know what that is. 5 times 4, and then we're going to add that to 5 times x. Okay, so 5 times 4 is 20 plus 5x. I can't rewrite that in any other way. Take a second, make sure you get that down while I switch to the next screen. Okay, hoping I can switch to the next screen. Why can't I go to the next? Okay, I finally figured out how to go to the next screen. Let's just write down this formula, or the explanation for what distributive property is. It says the distributive property says that in a multiplication problem, when one of the factors is rewritten as the sum of two numbers, the product does not change. So if you haven't written it in already, write distributive. We will be using this term a lot, so make sure you have it written in and you understand that it just means we're rewriting the product as a sum of two numbers. So for example, 5 times what can be written as 5 times 3 plus 1? Well, 3 plus 1 is 4. It's just another way of rewriting the expression. Also, 15 plus 5x can be rewritten as what times 3 plus x? This one's a little trickier. Do 15 and 5 share the same factor? They sure do, and that's a 5. Well, let's just check to make sure this works. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times x is 5x. There's an addition sign between. Is that the same as what we started with? It sure is. Here we go again. I'm going to try to move the screen down.
You go, Mrs. Van Dyke.
I think Mrs. Pearson. She's my cheerleader.
Woo!
Whoa, go Mrs. Van Dyke. Okay, if you look, we are going to try some practice problems. This is a -2 on the outside. We need to distribute it between both of the terms on the inside. -2 times 2x is -4x. -2 times, this is by the way a -4. A negative times a negative is a positive, so I would write plus 8. If you need to pause the video to think that through, go for it. I'm going to move on. On the outside of parentheses is -8. I'm multiplying -8 times x and -8 times 3. -8 times x is -8x. -8 times 3 is -24. Done. Next one. 5 times 3y is 15y. 5 times 2 is 10. There's a plus sign between because 5 times 2, they're both positives. It stays positive. I have a -7 on the outside. going to distribute it through everything in the parentheses. Negative 7 times positive 5. Negative times a positive is negative. Negative 35, and I just keep the t. Now I have negative 7, but I'm multiplying it by negative 3. A negative times a negative is a positive. Moving down, let's see if I can master this skill. Woohoo! 4 more to go. We've got this. Okay, on the outside is negative 1. Oh, that seems pretty easy. Negative 1 times positive 3 is negative 3. Negative 1 times positive x is negative 1x. I don't have to write the 1. I can just write negative 3 minus x. Also, don't forget that this is the same thing as negative x minus 3. Those are equivalent expressions. I just wrote them in a different order. This next question is very tricky, and it's one that tricks kids up all the time. If there's a negative on the outside, that means you're really taking negative 1 and multiplying it by everything in the parentheses. Okay, negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Negative 1 times y is negative 1y. But there's a plus sign in here, so how can I simplify this? It's negative 3 minus y. I can also rewrite that as negative y minus 3. Same thing. Oh gosh, there's fractions here. How can we do this? This means 1/2 times x and 1/2 times 6. How do I write 1/2 times x? I just simply write 1/2 x. How do I write 1/2 times 6? They're both positive, so now I'm adding. And I'm going to just write it out. 1/2 times 6, which is really like 6 over 1. I have 1/2 of x plus, if I just multiply straight across, I get 6 over 2. What's 6 over 2? Of course, we already know what 6 over 2 is. 6 divided by 2 is the same as 6 over 2. 6 over 2 is 3. Oh, wait a minute. That really means I could have just done 1/2 of 6 is 3, because I already know what 1/2 of 6 is. In this case, I have negative 1/4 times 8. So I'm going to just write it so you can see. Now in this case, it's a negative 1/4 times a positive y, so I'm going to keep the negative. The signs are different, and I have negative 1/4 times y. Now, I can show you again how to multiply 1/4 times 8, but really what it is going to be is negative 8 over 4. Well, I know what negative 8 over 4 is. It's negative 2, because 1/4 here of 8 is negative 2, minus negative 1/4 y. I should rewrite this as negative 1/4 y minus 2. That's usually the standard form. Nice job. Keep these out. You're going to use the distributive property a lot this year. Nice job, everybody.